This one sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Toll in San Diego.
Wait a minute. He's in San Diego? We're jacking it, smacking it. I'm gonna go where there's... All right, anyway, we're jacking it in San Diego.
I remain incredulous. Oh, excuse me, he actually did have a sentence before that. I thought it was just, it didn't relate to the rest of it, but I could say it. Hey, Brian, love your work and listen to you and Jim's podcast religiously. Well, let's make that regularly. I remain incredulous, however.
Yes.
As to how Jim thinks that Cody has turned over a new leaf. Jim was salivating over how Cody was treated like a hero in his first WWE promo. Does Jim not remember how Cody was greeted in AEW for his first promo? It was the same thing. Brian, I think respectfully you might agree that given time, Cody and his wooden promos will eventually turn him into the object of scorn, even with a naive and much younger WWE audience. My question is, can we do an intervention with Jim to prevent him from continuing down this path?
Oh, come on.
Without realizing what the eventual end will be.
Now, how did I say that Cody had turned over a new leaf? I didn't say that Cody had turned over a new leaf.
I think maybe you were talking about the audience reaction in WWE versus the last year or so.
That's not Cody. That's the audience. That's not even the audience turning over a new leaf, because that's a new audience crawling out from under the same rock. Again, I think the things that hindered Cody were complex and various. The family, the entourage, the camera-happy wife, the ineffective manager, the retinue of friends and hangers-on and well-wishers, the constant, I'm leaving to go do reality TV and getting hurt and putting someone over, but then I'm coming back and immediately getting my win back. Well, I'm going to go do this show or do that outside project. Number one, the WWE audience, they're used to all their guys being on reality television, being sufferable twats, right? They don't mind wrestlers trying to be TV stars and movie stars and actors and entertainers. It's kind of baked in already. The AEW audience is specifically watching AEW because they're the ones that are opposed to, or supposed to be opposed to, all the showbiz bullshit entertainment and want wrestling. They were promised a sports-based presentation, but we won't go into that lie again. So the AEW audience, they want to see wrestlers that are devoted only to their company that they live, eat, breathe, and sleep over. Notice I didn't say fuck. Just living, eating, breathing, and sleeping. That's what the real diehards in AEW do. Not so much of the fucking. They wanted the guy to be totally dedicated to that, and they got tired of him being pretentious and trying to come off like a celebrity with the entourage. I don't see those problems in WWE. Vince is not going to let Brandy on a fucking show. Vince is not going to give Cody a manager that then turns around and does absolutely nothing. Doesn't speak, doesn't interfere, doesn't apparently give a lot of good advice. He's not going to have Cody's wrestling school following him down to the ring like the goddamn Pied Piper of Duluth, Georgia. And the story that they're trying to tell is not only a classic wrestling story, but also it's a story about not only Cody's father, but this is another reason I'm sure why because it's Vince's father was in charge at that time. And now they're bringing a multi-generational thing in. It's a great story. It's a more forgiving audience for people that want to be celebrities and be on TV for whatever fucking reason. And there's none of the irritating, social circle. So, and it's completely different fan base that the WWF fans, they've, I guess, made peace with this is all a big phony fucking show. The AEW fans can't figure out which they want. They wanted sports real based wrestling, but then the kind of wrestling that they think is real is fucking Japanese strong style with Minoru Suzuki. So they're all over the fucking place. But I think the atmosphere is different for Cody where he is now. But what do you think, oh Cody hater?
I'm not a Cody hater. I've been a Cody truth teller, actually. If you go back and I have, and check out everything I've said, I've kind of been on
That might not
target.
be a bad wrestling name, Cody Truth Teller.
I think that the big problem with WWE is not going to be Cody as much as how they use Cody. You didn't watch Raw yet. I did. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, in a few days. But Cody gets the big entrance, comes out. Him and Seth Rollins have a long segment in the ring talking. And then later on in the same night, Cody gets the big entrance again. So I think the problem is people getting sick of Cody, but not necessarily because of Cody, but because of the way that people get sick of everyone in WWE. Because I started to feel it last night. Like, okay, he's losing a little bit of his specialness, even though he's clearly the top babyface on that show right now. I mean, the first video package last night was all Cody.
Well, and as long as he doesn't do anything to deflate Vince's opinion, aspirations, hopes, thoughts, whatever on this deal, he'll get the chance to keep on doing it. So we'll see what happens.